Hey everybody, it's Jesse, and good morning if you're in a time zone close to mine. It's 10 a.m. here, and I have to do an interview later on during my normal time. So hopefully this time is okay for most of you, and maybe some of you who don't normally get to watch live will get to watch it live now. So I think it'll probably work out all right. I'm gonna wait just a minute. My analytics are probably just a little bit slow right now, but it's showing no viewers, which I know can't be right because I had at least 6 people waiting. Alright, so I guess let me check the live chat. Oh, okay. So we do have some people in the live chat, so there we go. The analytics finally caught up. Okay. Wow, okay, everybody in the live chat says it's 43. It's showing me 21 right now in the analytics, and it was showing 0 until just a few seconds ago. So, hey everyone. Hey. Alright, so we got some first timers. Welcome. Welcome. Sebastian, I just saw that pull request right before I started, so I'll check that out later on. Alright, so today we're going to keep going with our file uploader. And yesterday we were trying to do we were trying to put some security measures in place. So we had a whitelist for files, file types, and we wanted to set a max file size. So let me show you what I've done so far. And this is now on GitHub, but it's under the branch. I always forget the name of the branch. File type check is the name of the branch, so it's not merged into master yet. But you can see I've replaced we had kind of some really long ugly stuff going on here in our if statement yesterday to check, so I've replaced that with a regular expression that goes through a lot of different file types. I think this is all we'll want. Maybe now just looking at it I could see like maybe we want that too. Okay, so basically all this does is it's just checking all of these, and it's case insensitive. So if the file type matches any one of these, then it's okay to download. This isn't the only check I want to do, but we have this in place now, and definitely better than it was yesterday. So yesterday we left off, and I was considering, so we figured out a way to get the total size of the form. So everything coming in from the form, input fields, files, the whole thing. What we wanted to be able to do was set a file size limit per file, but I think, so I thought about it this morning, and I think it's going to be okay server side to have a total limit. So I think we're not going to have to switch. I was thinking about switching to Multer instead of Formidable to handle the form data, because it's easier with Multer to do the checks for file size. But this is what I'm thinking. Have it clear on the client side what size we can accept. So we could even set a file size limit client side. even if technically it still could go through if it was a little bit bigger, we could still set one, and then we could check it client side, knowing that people could get around that, but that ultimately when it comes server side, even if they get through the client side stuff and try to send a huge file or a ton of files, it's not gonna go through. So that'll offer us protection from a lot of small files or a huge file. Either way, just with the one check. So let me know if that makes sense, if that sounds all right. I wish, let's see, I think I did get rid of all the code that we had used before. And I wish I hadn't, because it would have been helpful, since now I've decided that I want to use it. And we never committed that or anything, so I'm not going to be able to get that back. But it shouldn't be too hard. I guess I could have just watched my video from yesterday. It sounds weird, but I always forget that. I think I frequently think like, oh man, I wish I remembered what I did, last week or something like that, and then it hits me like, oh wait, I can just watch the video and see what I did. Oh yeah, Samuel, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, I didn't mean that the P is optional. Okay, I'll double check that, Samuel. Hold on a second. Let me double check and make sure. Because I'm not really great with regex, so I want to double check to make sure that I've put that in correctly. Let's see. On my other screen I tried to look it up and the first link was not very helpful. regexer.com. All right, thanks, Samuel. I'm gonna check this out. So basically, if anybody's not sure what's going on here, I just want to know. In this context, I've put this question mark in here. The goal is that I want to be able to allow. If the extension is JPEG or JPG. So that was my intention, but I'm not sure that I did it correctly. Samuel says I can replace this doc with just docx because there's no other. Actually, isn't the old file type is just doc, right? Yeah, You're right. Yeah. So Bala Kumaran says, can't you just basically just write both out? Yes, I definitely could. Okay, so it seems like the question mark should work. So I'll leave that in there for now. Maybe I'll double check later on. I'm not worried about it. I can always just try to upload both versions and see if it works. Let's get started, and I want to put in place first that max size check, and we're gonna, I guess what we'll do is we'll stop. So yesterday we ended up putting it inside. Did we put it inside here? I'll have to look. Actually, now that I think about it, I believe that the code was pasted into the live chat. So let me go back to yesterday's live chat and just grab that code. There we go. That was it. It was on progress. Alright, so this is what I grabbed. Let's see. Alright, so let me double check. I know we did this yesterday, and I pretty much just want to recreate the point we were at yesterday and then actually finish it today. Okay, let me bring this over. I'll make it a lot bigger since that's really small. Okay. What did I do? App crash, waiting for file changes. Oh, okay. What is this? Oh, that's why. Wait, I thought that was fine. Oh, sorry everybody. Having some trouble with syntax. Okay. Alright, so what I'm looking for basically is just to make sure that this is giving us some values when we try to upload something. So I have the form open on another screen, so I just clicked upload, and there we go. So the first number is bytes received, the second number is expected, so you see the expected stays the same, and then finally they're equal, so we've gotten everything. Okay, good. So that's what I want. So the first check we're going to do is the bytes expected. If bytes expected is too big, right off the bat we know that we can't accept it. And then after that, we'll keep checking just to be sure. I've never seen so far it exceed the bytes expected, but I'm just kind of assuming that there's maybe some way to fake the bytes expected somehow and try to get past it. So I'll do both checks just in case. Okay, so what we'll need to do Alright, we need to figure out how you're supposed to stop a form from being submitted in Formidable. So I assume that there we go. And alright, can we just do error? Alright, let me check. I want to check the live chat quickly. I see some things in here that might be helpful. Oh, okay. I'm glad I checked this. So Samuel is saying, in regard to the docx thing, that the way I have it set up currently, this would match doc or docx, but also anything else that starts with doc. His example is doctor. So yeah, I definitely don't want to match other words like that. So although I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, you are right about that. I'm glad you brought it up because I hadn't even thought about it. But since I'm checking this against the file type, if I was checking it against the file name, I would be a lot more worried about that. But I'm checking against the file type, so the type is not. I mean, it's not likely to be anything other than regular file types. So anyway, if someone has some more insight into that, let me know, but I'm pretty sure it should be okay like that. But you are right, and so if you're going to do some checking, like particularly if you were going to use something like this but you were going to check against the file name, then you probably don't want to do this. You'd want to maybe write out, everything, and not use the asterisk, probably for anything. Okay, let's go back to our on progress. All right, so here's what I'm trying to do. At some point within this progress updates, the progress update, I want to be able to just end the upload. So I'm not sure. What about the user? So maybe it's farther up. Alright, so I'm not seeing any way to do this. So maybe I'll have to go. Let's check if we can do this in Express. And alright. I had just figured that there would be some easy way to do this, but I'm not finding it. You'd think. Alright, I'm wondering, so we can, obviously, if there's an error, it ends. I'm wondering how we could throw an error. Let's see what we're doing already. And let's see, I forgot to start my timer, but I am checking the time. So in a few minutes, I'm going to go back to the live chat and catch up on what's going on there. All right, so let's see. Okay. Always setting error to true. Okay, let's I don't really know if this will work, but I think it's worth a try. So let's say bytes expected is greater than, let's just try it. We'll try something really low this time just to see if we can make it work. Alright, so what I'm trying to do then is just send back a bad status request immediately, and what I want to see is if this actually will end the upload. Alright, let's save that. Make sure we don't get any errors. Cool, no errors. Alright, so I want to upload something that we don't have already. Okay. Cool. We got an error, but error's not defined. What line is that? Let's see. 131. Oh, okay. Let's get rid of that. First request to uploads. Alright, let's try that again. Okay. Let's get a new error this time. Alright, so good and bad news on that. So one thing that I noticed is that this did fire before the file got uploaded. Now obviously we set it so low, it's gonna go off pretty early on. But hold on a second, I gotta knock at the door.
Jesse is our front-end developer, so he helps us build sites and awesome things on the web, essentially. So yeah, students do. Incoming students see a lot of this as well. Current students here. Yeah, not yet. Yeah. Well, we have a bulletin system. Probably going to student life bulletin, which of course we now share a PDF out there, which is mind-blowing. But yeah, probably so anyway, yeah.
Nice to meet you too. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. That was my boss. So, in case you don't, in case you're not familiar with the show, this is me doing my everyday work. So interruptions and mistakes are definitely included, and so it happens from time to time. Not often, but since this is not my normal time, I'm more likely to get interruptions. Otherwise, everybody around here pretty much knows what my normal stream time is, and they leave me alone. But alright, so let's get back to this. So I was just trying out some things just to see if we could get away with this and have it work. The goal here is to end the form handling as soon as we realize that there's too much data. And we've got this error now. File type XCF. Actually, was I trying? I was trying to upload a file type that's not the right file type anyway, so I wanted to try it with something that was a correct file type. So I'll switch it up and try it with a correct file type next time, but for now, let's see if we can figure out another way we could do this. I guess if we did check for, at least for bytes expected here, and made that a part of what we check for, we could stop downloading anything if the bytes expected is too large. Well, that would be a first step. We'll give it a shot. It won't solve all the problems, but so in here, this is where we're actually uploading the files. So, and we know that this already works in regard to file types. So let's try this. If file type and let's see what the, I think I can just get that without having to be in the progress. Let's see, form bytes expected. Okay. Less than 3. Alright, so what I hope that this does is if the file type is correct, then it'll go on and check on the total number of bytes expected, and anything pretty much should get rejected at this point since we're checking for 3 bytes. So I'm going to try to upload a ping that's definitely more than 3 bytes, and it should get rejected. So let's, alright. That is odd. Okay, so it did not get uploaded, even though I know this says that, we just never corrected that. But oh, okay, I see why it's saying that. I didn't change this. So anyway, so this did work as expected. We just have the wrong wording in the console logs, but we can double check this by setting this. I don't know, like I don't know how big this file is. Let's check it out. Uh, 250 kilobytes. Alright, so let's just set this to, how do they normally do it? Like, times, whoops, not plus, 100 times. That's how I usually see it done, like, and that's a lot easier to reason about than having like a big long number. So let's see. Actually, let's see. There's actually a cool converter built right into Google search. So if you want to check kilobytes and megabytes and all that, it is pretty useful. Huh. Hmm. 1,000 bytes. Sorry, I was I was just messing around with the converter. There's actually a lot. I'm just gonna bring this over because I think it's cool. Just for a second. So I didn't realize that they actually measure up. It's probably hard to see because it's small. I wonder if I can. Okay, I'll make it bigger. So if you go up to a pebibyte. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, but that's crazy. All right. So basically, if we set this at, what was that, 250? Sorry, I'm trying to find that file size again. All right, 250 kilobytes. That's what I thought. So let's just go 300. That should work. Yeah, there's going to be some extra data. Well, I'm not really putting that much else in the form, so but this should work. Actually, let me know. I've stopped getting anything in the live chat, so I haven't gotten anything in there for about 20 minutes, which is weird. So I don't know, try typing something into the live chat so I could see. If I don't see anything in a few minutes, then I'll know something's wrong with the live chat. Okay, awesome. It works. Great. Everybody's just quiet. Alright, cool. Thank you for the prompt response. Okay, so let's try this again. And submit. There we go. Okay, so I just submitted and you see it was uploaded. This is uploaded successfully. Alright, so cool. So this works for bytes expected. So I guess what's a reasonable amount of bytes expected? Should we set it, should we limit it to like 10 megabytes? I'm better saying 4. Yeah, I'm thinking. So remember, this will be total. So people are sometimes going to upload multiple files. Let me think of what it normally is. So the mostly what gets uploaded are PDFs, Word documents, and images. So I'm not worried about file size on anything really except for the images. So I could see maybe an image getting big. I'll set it, I'm going to set it to 10. And that should be good, I think. So actually, let's do it like that. Wait a second. So that is not what I meant to do. Alright, so times, yeah, sorry, for a second my brain didn't work and I forgot that I had to do that in megabytes. Okay, so that should give us about 10 megabytes, which that should be fine. I mean, we can 10 megabytes is not a lot, so we can definitely handle that. And if anybody, I wonder if I should split this out though. What am I doing now? I'm not really. Did we get a success? I think we may have gotten a success message. All right, actually, you know what? I'm thinking too much into this right now. We're not worried about sending messages back to the user from here. This is a protection for people who are trying to circumvent our client-side stuff. So client-side stuff will catch it and will give the right feedback to the user. I don't really care. And in fact, it's probably better if someone is maliciously trying to do something that we don't even send an error message back to them. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so because what this is doing is it's not sending an error, it's just not uploading that file. So everything else is going on as it normally would. So here's another concern. So this is just dealing with the file uploads. Potentially, I don't know that this is possible. This would be kind of weird. Potentially, could someone put so much text in a text input field that it would go over the data limit? Because they wouldn't. We could check for it here, but it wouldn't matter because there's not going to be files. Alright, and I had said that I was going to stop and check the live chat, and that was a long time ago and I'd forgotten. So let me stop and check the live chat now. It's not a bad place because we got step 1 of this finished and working. So let me scroll up in the live chat. I'll take any questions you have now for about 5 minutes. I'll set the timer. I might go a little over 5 since I skipped ahead and did more coding. Alright, cool. So we have Vinicio says hello from Brazil. Awesome. Welcome. Sean says it's first time from Phoenix, Arizona. Hey Sean, welcome. Really glad you could join us for the first time. Feel free to ask any questions or put any comments in the live chat. Oh, cool. Airdrifter says, I'm done with HTML and CSS tutorials. Awesome. Congratulations. Assuming now you'll start getting into JavaScript stuff. So if you have any problems and want any help, let us know in the live chat or message me or something. I'd be happy to give some advice if you need it and if I get a chance to. Slick Rick asks, what are you coding? He asked this a while ago, so he or she asked this a while ago. I not sure if you're still around watching, and you probably got it already, but it's a file upload. We're handling file uploads in Node. We're using Formidable as our package, our Node package to help us handle those. And we have the file uploads working, but now we want to try to rule out which uploads we want to which files we actually want to upload and which ones we want to reject based on what type of file they are and how big the files are. Okay. Alright, so Krillic has a question, I guess. So is it fine to render or not a component depending on the state of another component in React? For example, I have a navigation component with filter component inside, and I render filter only if navigation. He says state is home is true. Okay, so only if navigation state is home is true. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine. So basically, so you have navigation as your parent component. Then filter is being rendered inside navigation. You have a state of is home. When it's set to true, you want to render filter. So yeah, definitely, I would just put it in a ternary. So let's bring up. I guess let me bring up a JavaScript file so we'll get the syntax highlighting here, but let me go down here. So within your render, or your return, you're probably going to want to do something like this. So this state is home, and then you can, since you're just checking if it's true or false, you can actually just short circuit with and then after that you can put your what was it called, filter. So you could do something like this, right? So this would check. It would check the state. If the state is true, it's going to filter. If it's not true, it's not going to do anything. So let me know if that's helpful, or if that fits your use case, or if I'm misunderstanding what's going on there. But if anyone else has any input into this, please weigh in here. But as I understand the question, this should work. So we're doing this a lot. Between this project and the last project, we've used pretty much this exact setup somewhat frequently. Okay, so we did have my timer went up, but there's only a few more questions, so I'm just going to do them to get to the bottom of the chat here. So Techie Tintin says, what does the JPEG with the question mark in the middle mean? So I'm going to get rid of this. Hopefully, who was it? Hopefully Acrylic had a chance to check that out. I just don't want to leave that in there and accidentally. I wouldn't really be able to accidentally save that because I would get an error, but rather just take it out now. So this part here is what you're asking about. What I'm intending this to do, and I haven't tested it yet, is to take either JPG or JPEG. So basically the question mark here means the E would be optional. But originally I did have it like this, and then Samuel said that he thought it should be like that. So I started to look it up, but then I figured, like, I'm not going to spend the live stream trying to look this up. I'll just look it up later. So definitely, before you try to use this, test it or look it up, because I'm not 100% sure if what it is. I don't really use regex often enough to memorize what all these things mean, so I just look it up every time. So I need to verify that this is correct. Okay, so when I asked earlier about would it be possible for somebody to put so much text in a text input that it would exceed our max limit for size, And Umberto says potentially yes, unless you're only getting the first X characters from the text box, so there's some character limit. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, and I could do that. I'm thinking, can I do that client side? I mean, obviously I can set limits client side, but I'm thinking for somebody who's going to try to get around that, could I only send a certain amount? I'll have to check it out. I don't think I'm going to do any client side stuff today. I'll save that. I'll probably work on it myself later on. I was just going to do some server side stuff, but that's a good point. Thanks, Umberto. Techie Tintin says, "You rock, bro. First time here. Awesome. I'm glad glad you think that, and so hopefully hopefully you stick around and are able to watch some shows in the future and contribute in the live chat or ask questions." Okay, Maheshvar, I'm sorry, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I'm trying. Maheshvar says, hey, hi Jesse, what time do you come live usually? Usually it's 2 p.m. Eastern time, but occasionally I have to switch that up depending on what I have going on. Nodie says, a few weeks ago I didn't know JSON at all. It's cool. I can watch this stream and understand what NodeMon is doing. That's awesome. It also says, hey Jesse, this might be a sidetrack, but would love to know your thoughts on Node.js if you have any experience. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of server-side JavaScript because it allows someone like me to do full stack type of stuff without having to learn another language, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with knowing more than one language, and that's awesome if you do, but there's only so many hours in the day and so much time you can dedicate to learning. So if I can dedicate all my time to JavaScript, then I'll get better at that than if I was learning more than one language. So the general concept of it, I'm really a fan of. I wouldn't say I have a ton of experience actually doing server-side JavaScript with Node. I do stuff like this, like we've been doing, just some, I don't know, I guess this is basic stuff, file upload things, some routing. So I hope to do more with it, and yes, so that's my, I guess I don't know if that's what you wanted in terms of an opinion, but I just think it's really, really cool to be able to use client-side and server-side JavaScript, and then it allows you to do other stuff, like people are doing Internet of Things with JavaScript. It's like everything that you can do with other languages, it seems like people have figured out how to make it happen with JavaScript. And I don't know. That's really cool. It's not like I think JavaScript's the greatest language in the world. I don't think I've been exposed to enough languages to really make a decision like that. But it's what I know the best. So the fact that you can use it so many places means that I could potentially code those different things. And that seems really cool and fun for me. Let's see. Alright, so I've got through all the questions. Let's go back. Let me set my timer this time. So we'll definitely do yeah, we'll probably do one more Pomodoro session, and then to finish up, I'll answer any questions you all have. If you haven't seen this stream before, the end is saved for question and answer from the live chat. So stick around for that if you do have questions, or if you'd like to stick around and help answer, that would be awesome as well. This stream benefits greatly from the expertise of everyone who's watching and contributing. If it was just based on my expertise, it would not be nearly as helpful to you all. Okay, so yeah, so this is working. Now we want to, yeah, the second step was to check the bytes received and then stop. Stop it based on bytes received. This is going to be a little bit more tricky. So here's why. If I try to look at bytes received here in file begin, it's going to say 0. Or at least for the first time that runs, it's going to say 0. So there's going to be stuff already getting uploaded, which I guess is fine. Yeah, that's probably fine, because what I want to do is just cut it off at some point. Okay, so let's try it out. Let's just console log it first to see what we get, and let's get rid of this. Okay, and I'm gonna have to upload multiple files to really see this in action. Now, what this isn't really going to protect against, I suppose, is one really big file. So I guess I'll still have to find some way, and there may not be a way with Formidable to do that. I mean, progress does go with chunks. Alright, let's just try this first, and then we can worry about the other stuff. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, yeah, definitely. So we actually did get a value for the first time, which is cool. When we tried it before, I think we tried it yesterday, we did get 0 at first. So that might actually be useful. Let's try it with one file and see what we get. Okay, so here's our bytes received. Okay, this might actually work then. If we are actually getting something here, this will be somewhat more useful than I thought it would be. So let's just, I guess, put in receives. Okay, so let's see, wonder if I can try. Let me try this. I'm going to try to upload a really big file. So I think I do have some videos recorded at pretty high quality that will definitely be more than, what do we have, 10 megabytes? So let's try that. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Here's a 40 megabyte one. Alright, here we go. Here's a 500 meg one. Alright, so I'm going to try to upload this 500 megabyte file, and let's see what happens. Wow. Well, I've never seen the loading modal before because everything's uploaded so fast, but I finally saw it and it looks great. So, so that's good. So I did it on my other screen, but let's see. All right. Let's see what value we got. Oh no, it got rejected because of the file type said QuickTime. Oh. I'm gonna have to rethink how I'm checking these file types. Okay, cool. So this wasn't the result I was looking for, but I'm glad it happened because this uncovered a bug that this could have been really bad. So what it looks like though is, at least for this file, is that would have gotten through. I mean, assuming that I could have faked the bytes received thing, or the bytes expected thing, this would have gotten through because that first time that fired, you could see it's only registering like 16,000 bytes. So yeah, so that's not going to protect us from huge files trying to get uploaded. But the problem is, excuse me, it's yawning. The problem is I pulled this from one of my previous projects, and in that project I was actually checking the file name and not the file type. So these aren't gonna work for everything. You could see that I'm allowing the MOV extension, but that's not what came up as the type. The type was QuickTime. So I'm gonna have to get another list. I'm not gonna search for a list right now during the stream, but I'm going to try to search for a list of common file types, and I'm going to replace what I have now with that list. Okay. I'm going to keep this in here because it still could have some use, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to find. I'll have to think of some other way. So for right now, we are protected from lots of smaller files being uploaded. So that's good. I mean, that's better. That's better than nothing at this point. That's a step forward. I still would like, at the very least, I would like some sort of protection from very long file input values and from someone trying to upload one very large file. And the file thing is assuming that the bytes expected could be faked to make it appear less than it really is, which I'm not sure if that's possible or not. If I find out that that's not possible, then we're fine. But I don't know, you never know. People come up with all kinds of ways to get around things. Alright, so I'm going to commit this and then push that to GitHub and see how much time we have left. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Alright, so we're checking what we changed. Good, only the server.js has changed, which is what we expect. We're committing with the AM flag, which means we're adding and putting a message in at the same time we're committing. I'm going to say add. Okay, that works. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of our tests are running now. If you have a project without tests on it that have a pre-commit hook, that run on a pre-commit hook, then you're not going to see this, and it's going to be a lot faster. But if you do download this repo, you're going to see something like this. So so now you won't be freaked out when you see it, I guess. And remember, if you do want to check out what we've been doing, you have to switch to the file type check branch. And this code is not on the master branch. Okay, so 12 minutes left in this Pomodoro cycle. I'm not sure that it's worth it to try something else. The odds of me actually getting something else to work in 10 minutes are small, especially since I'm not really sure what I want to do next. So this might be a good time to take questions. Yeah, so I'm going to go to the live chat now. I'm going to scroll up to where I left off at. There's not a whole lot in the live chat, so it shouldn't take me too long. So if you do have any questions, please get them in there quickly so that I can answer them. Otherwise, if you can't stick around for the question and answer session and you're just here for the code, thank you so much for watching. Please watch again sometime if you can. And let's go to the live chat. Where did I stop? All right, so I'm scrolling up to the live chat that has the timestamp of around 11 a.m. Okay, cool. So Nodi had asked the question about Node.js, and in response, he says, "Makes sense. Been trying to learn it the past few weeks." Cool. Yeah, I think it's definitely worthwhile. There's so much you can do with Node nowadays. So if you're not sure what to learn and you're looking for something to try out, I think Node is a good route to go right now. Okay, Sebastian says that I shouldn't be looking at bytes received. Throw the error if the bytes expected are bigger than what you want. Okay, and Umberto is saying about I'm also checking to make sure bytes received is less than bytes expected. 2 separate checks. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Sebastian says, I may be wrong, but if you stop an upload based on what is already uploaded, you might end up with filled halfway uploaded, aka useless files. Yeah, so what I guess I'm not so much worried about useless files. So potentially, so there's going to be client-side checks in place. So people who are genuinely trying to use this for what's it's intended to be used for are going to be stopped client-side from uploading anything that they shouldn't be uploading in terms of type or size. What I'm worried about on the server side are people that have circumvented our client-side protections. So I don't really want their files anyway. So if I only get a half a file and it's useless, I'm fine with that. I would prefer getting nothing, but if I need to stop it in the middle, that's fine with me as well. Okay, Umberto says that he would send a message back to the client indicating the upload failed in the case that received is greater than expected. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure if you sent that message before or after I explained my reasoning why. So I'll just reiterate it again for anybody that wasn't around when I did explain that. So normally I would want to send back a message, but in this case, as I said, the user, if that occurs, it's likely that the user is trying to do something malicious. I don't really care about sending them back anything, telling them that it failed. I would rather have them think it succeeded and then have them know that it failed and try something different. African Flight Star says, this is really cool for a newbie coder like me to actually watch live how the experts do it. Very helpful. Thanks for saying, putting me in the category of expert. I appreciate that. I don't know that I would put myself in that category, but I'm at least expert enough so that people pay me to do this. Anyway, hopefully you do get something good out of this, and if you're new to coding and you have any questions, definitely let me know in the live chat, or you can message me on Twitter or some other social media platform. Dave says, sorry if asked, only just been tuned into what program. Alright, so programs you use. Okay, so the question from Dave is basically, what programs do you use? Dave is just starting to learn again on freeCodeCamp. If you're just starting on freeCodeCamp, you won't really need any separate programs at first. Once you start to get into some of the projects, some of the later projects, you'll need it. So I use the Atom text editor. That's ATOM. It's free. I'm sorry, code editor. And for my terminal, I use iTerm2. I think that's Mac only. For Windows, I think I use Commander. It's CMDR. I'm pretty sure that's what I use. I haven't used it in quite a while though, so I can't remember for sure. I think that's it for any special programs. I mean, other than what I have, so I have Node.js installed on my computer and npm, and then I install my packages through that. So, but that's probably, if you're just starting in with freeCodeCamp, that's a little bit more than you need to worry about right now. I would do your freeCodeCamp things, and when you get to that point where you really start, you need to develop things locally on your own computer, then get into some of learn Git, learn how to use npm, kind of ease your way into it. Sometimes it is helpful to be able to start with somebody else's project and kind of see how they have it set up, as long as it's not too complex. But anyway, you'll see a lot of how that works on these streams. It's not really a tutorial, but at least you'll get to see it in action, and I'll do my best to explain it. And feel free to ask any questions along the way. If I'm going too fast with something, you're just not sure how something works. Okay, cool. African Flight Star says, just signed up with freeCodeCamp and I'm looking forward to diving in. That's awesome. That's really great. It seems like the last few streams I've had a lot of people say that they're just starting with freeCodeCamp, and that's great. It's good to hear that a lot of people are getting into that. I think it's a great resource. I think I mentioned before, but my wife actually just started. I think she's only on her second week of doing freeCodeCamp, but that's kind of cool. Now I can talk about coding stuff with my wife, and she understands me. Anyway, Dave said thank you for the info, bud. You're welcome. Hopefully it's helpful to you. All right, so I've gotten to the end of the live chat, and I think we're actually going to be finished in under an hour and a half, which that may seem like a long time to you, but compared to some of the other streams we've done, this is one of the shorter ones. So I will be back tomorrow. What is today? Wednesday? Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, so tomorrow's Thursday. I should be good to go at the same normal time. Yeah, so probably expect the stream to be around 2:30 p.m. normal time. Friday's stream will probably be a little bit earlier than normal as well, but I'll let you know more about that tomorrow and on Friday morning. But until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for helping out in the live chat, all your contributions. I really appreciate it. And have a great day.